Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. A few days back, I did a post on the Usaamah Rahim shooting prior to the video being released. By now, several of you have probably already seen the video, and if you're familiar with my work, you probably don't even need this video. But for those of you who are new, what I want to talk about is how these incidents that the media presents us are always loaded with visual clues of the hoax. In the last video, I showed how the name Usaamah Rahim revealed the hoax. Well, now that they've released the video, we have one more piece of evidence. And what it is the central symbol in the background of the video, the CVS pharmacy.
She had a recipe for everything.
Whoa, sorry, Truth Seeker, something going on in the background. CVS pharmacy in the background. Recall in the Baltimore riots, the first building to get looted was CVS. Other truth seekers have done videos showing it was the police who looted the building first, not even regular civilians. They were police officers. Even in the mainstream on talk radio, I heard many people call in and recognize this. So people are starting to wake up. But notice here in this Usaamah Rahim, we have a CVS pharmacy video. We'll talk about this, then we'll watch the video. CVS has simple English gematria of 44. Remember, the word medicine has a Pythagorean gematria of 44. The abbreviation MD equals 44. Most people get their prescription from an MD, then go to CVS and waste their money on man-made medicine that isn't half as good as what comes from the earth. The word kill has a gematria of 44, just like cancer and many other preventable diseases and illness. As we watch the video, notice how a bus comes through just before he gets shot. I can't decide if this is coincidence or more part of the script, another clue. I bring this up because the word bus has a simple English gematria of 42, and I've talked about how 42 is so often coded on black Americans, especially when it has to do with killing them. Rodney King wasn't killed. He had an April 2nd birthday. More recently, a Sean Bell was shot in New York City, supposedly shot 42 times. The name Freddie sums to 42. Gray, 24. Remember the Freddie Gray incident? Michael Brown was shot in Ferguson, Missouri. Both Ferguson and Missouri have gematria 42. There's more Truth Seeker, but this number 42, they love to get it in there with the white on black violence, but provoking stories. I also want to point out that the video is on June 2nd. Notice the date 6-2 is a lot like the number 62 for the word Mason. Mason in Pythagorean gematria sums to 17 and 26, also matching CVS in Pythagorean, 8 and 17. That's 17 connection. The word kill also has a Pythagorean gematria of 17, so kill and CVS really line up. And again, the name Usaamah Rahim, the way it's spelled, sums to 113. Mainstream's a 113 word. Dishonest, green screen, often coding. Michael Brown was shot in front of the Cantfield Green Apartments, which have a gematria of 113. Let's just check out this CNN video here real quick. We'll go back. Here we go.
This is an enlarged version, a zoomed-in version. It will also...
Notice that it said he wielded a military knife. I'm starting to think that a lot of these victims might be military. Think about the recent Grand Forks story. Grand Forks equals 113, all coded with these exact same numbers. They said that it was someone who recently graduated from the military with honors, who right after graduation went in and randomly shot somebody he didn't know and then killed himself. What about that story makes sense? All right, here we go.
Also have a yellow circle that will show you where Mr. Rahim is during the encounter. The video, as I mentioned to you, when you zoom in, it does become somewhat pixelated. And that is Mr. Rahim walking now towards the area of the bus stop.
I mean, just look at this imagery they give us. Why do they even do it? This blurry imagery, that could be anybody. You can't hardly make it out. The clearest thing on here is the CVS and the yellow car.
This is the approach of law enforcement officers now.
Here comes the drill.
You'll also notice the marked Boston police cruiser that also arrives at about the same time to assist in the stop.
Here comes the school bus, too. Yellow car takes off. Here comes the school bus. I guess the school bus comes through right as he's shot. Maybe even a stab at Rosa Parks. If you haven't seen my video on her, I showed how she's coded with the same numbers that every black American in history is. I don't mean to upset people, Truth Seeker, but if you've ever wondered how black people got on the TV in the first place, at the time they did, it's because they were part of the gang. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, and more.
Just going to play it a little slower now, about a frame at a time. Again, the discharging officers, law enforcement officers is inside this individual here, and this individual here.
Looks like he tackles him to the ground, and then I guess they shoot him dead on the ground? I mean, looks like another unnecessary kill, but likely another drill hoax just to provoke. So that was it with Usaamah Rahim. Got the CVS in the background, the bus coming through right at the time of death. Again, in Baltimore, it was CVS, the first building looted. Prior to that, the first major confrontation was in front of Camden Yards, which also has the Pythagorean gematria of 44. Freddie Gray protest began on a date with 44 numerology. Just over and over, Truth Seeker, like a broken record. These were headlines from Ferguson. During the Ferguson riots, the buildings that got damaged first were O'Reilly's and Little Caesars. I'm not 100% sure on this. I didn't note it down on my blog, it doesn't look like, but I think a CVS was also damaged in the Ferguson protest. I should go back and double check that. But with regards to Ferguson, notice that the O'Reilly's, the first building burned there, has the gematria of 96 like Freemason. The Ferguson decision that sparked the protest came exactly 96 days after the shooting. And again, it's just those same numbers coded over and over, Truth Seeker. If you don't know about 144 yet, if you write out the word 44 and sum it with simple English gematria, it sums to 144. If you write out the date April 4th and sum it, it sums to 144. And there's very much a connection between that date, April 4th, and 44 when it comes to killing and reported history. Think about Martin Luther King Jr. shot dead April 4th. This year, there was the Walter Scott shooting story from April 4th. Over and over, Truth Seeker. This is the time of Obama, the 44th president, and right now the 114th Congress. They always use these numbers when they're trying to provoke, Truth Seeker. Remember this story from a while back? The 33-year-old autistic man that the police kill on camera? Check this out if you haven't seen it. It's not always racial, but it's always trying to provoke. Here we go. If anybody's never worked with the autistic, you might not have the perspective, but an autistic person, you know, if they point at somebody, they don't mean anything by it, you know. So that is just such a ridiculous reaction by a police officer. It's sickening. Hoax or not. But Truth Seeker, I'll let you know something about myself. I used to manage an autistic children's home, and one of our boys was very big for his age, and he liked to wander off, and we routinely needed the police to help us bring him back. And I have to say, if I ever had to compliment the police, it was every time they worked with this autistic child. For the most part, I saw the police officers do a good job. Thankfully, never anything like this. So, you know, it's just one story after the next, Truth Seeker. It's almost impossible to keep up with. I don't even document them all. It's so sickening. You know, right now they got another racial story out there. White police officer busting up a black pool party causing mayhem. They just need us worked up, distracted, angry, divided. And it's just one story after another like this. A story like this, it not only targets black people, it also provokes Muslims and Islam. So they're trying to agitate as many people as possible with each story they pass. All right, Truth Seeker, we'll sign off at 4:44. Until next time.